So, this is my favorite beater sword. And as you can tell, it is quite well beaten. The scabbard is a wreck. I lost the shape. It has been cut into a bit. The blade it's probably not going to show up there, but it's pretty well worn looking at. It's all dirty no matter how much I clean it. And recently, I have managed to put a bit of a chip into the blade. Right around. It's very hard to find. But it's there. Right here. It's not going to... Yeah, right there. The little notch there. If I put it up... Yeah, right there. And I did that by hacking into bones. I have not sharpened this sword since I bought it, and it still cuts into and hacks bone. And this wasn't just any bone. This was a dog treat bone. It was very hard. It covered in the gristly fat and all that stuff. It said it was a pork bone, but it looked way too big to be a pork rib, which is what it was on the packaging. Pork rib looked way too big, so I assumed it was a cow. I don't know. I just stopped in the gas station to talk to the cute attendant, and then I seen that and thought, hey, you know what? That'd be fun to hack through with my Coldsteel Viking sword, which is what this is. It's a little bit loose over the year at the handle, but it hasn't been an issue at all, ever. It doesn't, like, it kind of rattles. Like so. It is the handle. It's not the blade. It's not the guard. It might be the guard a little bit. But yeah, the blade has serious bite to it. It almost feels jagged, but it cuts well. So that's cool. This is not the sword that I cut this with. This empty almond milk carton. I cut this with my claymore. You can see it's a bit of a jagged cut, but it was all one nice cut. So that claymore sword, very good once you get the handling down. This sword doesn't cut that well. This just kind of like hacks. It's an axe, basically. It's an axe on a stick. No. It's an axe that is a stick. You can also stab people with it. Targets. Not people. But yeah, this sword's a tank. It takes a beating. I've hacked through OSB board that was 3/4 of an inch thick. I have cut trees with it. I put some notches in my tree out there. And I hacked into that dog treat bone more than a few times before that little piece on the edge right there finally chipped. And that cut and cracked the bone completely in half. But I smacked the flat of the bone with that to break it. So before that, it was cutting right into it without any problem. And I imagine if I cut into living bone with it, it'd probably just take your whole arm off. Not my arm, because my arm's pretty big, but it would take your arm off if I just went. And you can hear the swooshiness. So this thing is good. I've personally found the best way to swing it is actually like a handshake type of grip, rather than like a firm death grip. Just kind of hold it like this. And you just put your shoulder into it. And then you want to chain. It's very difficult. Not very difficult, but it's difficult to kind of stop it mid-strike and redirect it. So kind of like a hammer. You just want to, or like a mace, You want to keep the strikes flowing. And you would do this with a shield back in the 8th and 9th, 10th centuries. You would have a shield because the only armor you had was mail. And yes, you would not hack through mail with this, but if you got hit by something like this whilst wearing mail, you would absolutely feel it. It would probably break your bones. This thing hits very hard. You can put a second hand on it, though I don't recommend it. And because Coldsteel, they make a really durable product, but they don't make it very accurate. Down here is just as sharp as it is anywhere else on the blade. So you can't wrap a finger around the guard to get some more leverage. If you could, that's how I would prefer to swing it. That's how I like to swing my Claymore, even though it's got a 10-inch grip or 11-inch grip. The Claymore, I like to put a finger up around the guard because it's, first of all, wrapped, but secondly, it's just dull to begin with. If you did that with this and hit something with any force, you would probably chop your own finger off. So it's not recommended. It is a one-handed sword for the most part, because two-handing it like this is not exactly comfortable because of the pommel. But yeah, it's a good sword. If you just want something to beat things with, it's a pretty good sword for that. I did a brief short about it back when I got it, and I have never, to my knowledge anyway, revisited it. But yeah, it's quite durable, very tanky, and it'll deal a lot of damage for sure. That's about all. Coldsteel Viking sword. Oh, you know what? I'm not done actually. This point here, this tip is very, very durable. There's no damage on it at all. I have actually gone through OSB board with this. Inch thick OSB board. Stabbed right through. No problem. I stabbed into a tree. The tree in the backyard out here. And I mean, it didn't obviously go very far, but it didn't damage the tip at all. So I just thought that was impressive, and I wanted to mention it. Coldsteel may not make historically accurate stuff, but it's incredibly durable. Their axes are the same way. I have 2 of them. They're great for durability's sake. If you want proper reproduction, I do think this is a bit heavier than most Viking swords, and it has almost no flex. I'm not sure how accurate that is. But you can see, like, this sword, I mean, I could bend it. That's as much bend as I can get on it. And I don't think it's spring steel, so I'm not going to bend it anymore. Okay, now we're done. Coldsteel Viking sword. I think it's around $300. I don't know why it's more than their hand and a half sword, but $300. And it's very durable. Has a lot of bite. Could probably cut my arm there if I wanted to. I don't. Well, actually, that feels almost. That's my hair. I have so much hair, it makes me immune to cuts. All right.